Hey everybody, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Please help me out by pressing the thumbs up button, subscribing, sharing, and commenting below. If you have any questions, you have any concerns, please let's dialogue in the comment section box below. In today's video, I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I know and I understand that this is primarily a private security channel. We're going to change it up. We're going to change it up a little bit. I know that some of my audience, probably maybe 5 or 10%, are in law enforcement. And I know that there's a small amount of people, but significant amount of people that want to become SWAT operators. They want to get into a SWAT team. And there's also a significant percentage on this channel of people who are exploring a career in law enforcement. They're exploring options in law enforcement. And what drives them to the job, what drives them to the work, is all the footage, the media footage that they've been seeing on SWAT teams, and it appeals to them. And they want to know, how do you get in? So let me address that question first. Almost everywhere that I know in law enforcement, they normally don't hire you as a SWAT operator. You don't get hired directly to SWAT. What ends up happening is you normally will do anywhere from, things are changing, right? Anywhere from 3 to 5 years, sometimes 10 years on patrol for a law enforcement agency, and then you could get on with SWAT. Now, these requirements are going to vary from department to department. It just matters where you would like to be a SWAT operator. But that's what we found. And there are some organizations where maybe you're former military and you were attached to special forces or some type of tactical unit. There is a slight chance that you can get hired in the SWAT team. Not directly, but at least maybe you'll do a year and a half, maybe a year on patrol, and then you'll transition to SWAT team. So having said that, I think the first thing that you have to do if you want to be a SWAT operator is apply at an agency. If you're not yet working for an agency already, apply for an agency that has a SWAT team. That should be your goal. If you apply somewhere that doesn't have a SWAT team, it's just not going to work out for you because there's no SWAT team to get into. Having said that, there are different nomenclature. There's different terms. So in California, basically, what we have is we have a lot of tactical unit that makes entry into structures that is contested, that's dangerous. And for years, those tactical units don't have any SWAT level training. They've never been to SWAT school. They maybe train with the team a little bit, and then they go out there making these entries. California identifies those teams as SWAT teams, and they highly recommend that they be properly trained. They recommend that they go through a basic SWAT school. In California, your basic SWAT school is 80 hours. I've been around other states where your basic SWAT school is 40 hours, and on top of that, you would go through an additional 40 hours of HRT training. That's your hostage rescue, team tactics or hostage rescue team training. But all in all, it's 2 weeks. Also in California, you have the CDCR, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. They keep renaming themselves over like every 7-8 years. But anyhow, they have their own internal SWAT team, and I believe that their SWAT school, I think it's 3 weeks. It's like maybe 3 or 3.5, and that's just your basic level SWAT academy. They have an advanced academy that's another like 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks. But typically, what we're seeing in states like California, an easy 2 weeks. Now, I don't say the SWAT school is easy 2 weeks. I'm just saying that by definition, your training is about 2 weeks long, about 80 hours. You might be applying to some law enforcement agencies that state that they have a tactical team. If they have a tactical team, so-called tactical team, by California post definition, they have a SWAT team. And usually when they call themselves just tactical team, it usually means that they're doing SWAT level things without the proper training, which is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. Now, you also have full-time units, SWAT units. You have part-time SWAT units, and then you have regional teams. So let's talk about that. in California, and I know that you guys are chiming in from other states, and I don't know what's happening in other states. I don't know what the requirements are, but I have a lot of subscribers that are from those states, and more, I'm welcoming them in the dialogue for sure. But California is a state that does have standards when it comes to SWAT teams. So our talking points will unfortunately revolve around California. Now, um, there are part-time units, there's full-time units, and there's regional teams. There are large agencies in California, like the Los Angeles Police Department, where they have a full-time SWAT unit. And you have the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, which is one of the largest sheriff's departments in the world. And they have like, I think it's like 4 full-time 24/7 SWAT teams. I think they have like 4 or 6 Bearcats, and they're in different parts of the county, and they are fully operational 24/7. And then you got a large agency like San Diego Police Department. San Diego Police Department has a full-time SWAT unit, and they're supplemented with part-time SWAT operators. And what that would entail is your part-time operator might be a detective. That person might be maybe assigned to the training division, or that person might be assigned to patrol. That person trains on a regular basis with the full-time team, but they have a part-time commitment. That's also what you have. Now, with a regional team, what you basically have is you'll have a region or maybe a county where you might have like 3 or 4 law enforcement agencies attached to that region. And on that team, you might have a team of 14. You might have a team of 30, maybe 40, maybe 60. But what I've seen is if a team is 60, I just don't see a lot of them regional, but again, I could be wrong. But usually what we're seeing is like a team of 14 or 16. And basically, the local law enforcement agency doesn't have enough personnel for a SWAT team, not even a part-time SWAT team. So what they do is they pull the resources together with local law enforcement, and then they form a regional team. And then there's a part-time team. So you're going to have like the smaller agencies that find a need for a tactical unit. I mean, I think every law enforcement agency needs a tactical unit, and you might have like 4 guys assigned to that, maybe 3. You might even have 2 assigned to that, and they will train up on a regular basis with the guys in the patrol division. And those 2 guys or that 3 guy will be responsible basically for training up the patrol guys or maybe detectives. But again, the smaller agencies, you'll see an easy of like 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys. Most states like California, they have very small law enforcement agencies, and because of politics, the chief maybe doesn't get along with another chief or sheriff, and they don't want to pull their resources together for a regional team. So you have these small teams. Okay, so now we're at number 2. What does SWAT look for? What does SWAT team look for when they are going to bring on board somebody on the team? I made this list up. I thought about it for a couple hours, and I think I'm spot on now. They want to have, so number 2 is a SWAT team member should be a good decision maker. And basically what that would entail is you would have maybe a guy that's pulled from patrol or investigations that has very limited citizen complaints. Now, I understand that the more you work out there, the more complaints that you're going to generate. I'm talking about sustained complaints. When you have somebody out there that constantly uses excessive force or questionable level of force, and there's just so much sustained complaints, you probably don't want to have that person on the team. Now, also, there will be a file review, or there should be a file review. I think every legitimate SWAT team needs to have a file review, and they need to review files that may contain maybe a written documentation of the event where that person made a good decision or maybe bad decision. Usually an attaboy involves a patrol officer or maybe a guy in investigations or maybe admin making a lot of good decisions. But sometimes you have those guys that make constantly bad decisions. And I'm not talking about a bad decision 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I'm talking about constant bad decisions. No SWAT operator wants that person on the team. Number 3, I think that you should be a good listener. I think every SWAT operator needs to be a good student, and they need to be a good listener. Having said that, if you're really interested in doing this, I think that you should attach yourself to a mentor. Maybe somebody who has been on the SWAT team, Maybe they left the SWAT team to go to like administrative duties and they were well respected. Attach yourself to that person and have them mentor you. Ask them, hey, I want to be a SWAT operator. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And you might also have current SWAT operators assigned on the team, and maybe that person is assigned to a part-time team, right? And they're your patrol partner. You want to talk to them, and you want to just, for 1 minute, just shut up and listen. Listen to the advice that they give you, and you should really abide by that advice. But look for a mentor. I know with the larger agencies, some of these mentors will invite you to training sessions. And actually, that's number 6. So I don't want to dwell into that too much. Okay, number 4, physical abilities. Guys, fellow SWAT operators have to be able to drag you out of the line of fire. You have to be able to, we'll say, rappel down a building. Now, I think in reality, honestly, rappelling, okay, so rappelling is a thing in SWAT academies, and I think it's a thing in the military, right? And I don't think that rappelling, just the practice of it and the training of it, I don't think it reflects an actual skill that you use. I think more it demonstrates capabilities of a tactical unit or a training academy or a SWAT academy. Hey, this is what we're capable of doing at the highest level, literally at the highest level. Having said that, you cannot be overweight and rappel. There's a certain weight limit that is connected to the ropes, right? If you weigh too much, you're going to endanger yourself. So you got to be fit. Also, what I noticed when it comes down to equipment, if you're heavyweight, right, and then there's like a month where you lose like 10 pounds or 7 pounds, all this equipment isn't going to fit you. You're going to get rapid, maybe body fat loss, sometimes muscle loss, and then the SWAT team is going to constantly have to buy you more equipment. That's one of the reasons why, stay in shape, and I'm talking about good physical shape. Somebody might have to drag you out of the line of fire. You're going to have to go through constant equipment changes of uniform if you're constantly losing weight, which is a good thing. But on the SWAT level, again, SWAT leaders, the commanders, want you to constantly be in a good, healthy condition. Also, if you're overweight, you might get hungry. You might have like pre-diabetes. And when you're on a operation, maybe you're on a perimeter, we can't have you with any health impairments. We have to be able to concentrate on the mission at hand and not the actual operator. Having said that, monitor your weight. You got to have the physical abilities. This is something that I want you guys to do right now. Just right now, is at least be able to run 1.5 miles in either 11.5 minutes or less. So let me say that again. It doesn't matter what age you are. 1.5 miles in 1.5 minutes or less. You should be able to accomplish that. Second, 25 push-ups in 1 minute. Third, 45 sit-ups in 1 minute. And then fourth, 8 pull-ups, however long you take. And the longer you take, the more chance of you're gonna just let go of the bar, right? Do those 4 things. Run your 1.5 miles, your 25 push-ups, your 45 sit-ups, and your 8 pull-ups. If you're over here being a bodybuilder, you go to gym all the time, you could do all this, good for you. But if you're not at that level, get at that level. Now, you also obviously want to know what the physical requirements are, but I think this is a starting point. I think it's Miami-Dade Police Department where you're actually having to body carry somebody, a fellow candidate on your shoulders and, run with that person or move with that person a certain number of yards, right? There's some academies that do that. There's some academies where you have to do 50 push-ups in less than a minute. I think that's the Riverside Sheriff's Department. And then I think at the Riverside Sheriff's Department, you're going to have to do, I think it's like 2 or 3 pull-ups with full kit on. Full kit, meaning your helmet, your vest, and all of your duty belt. So once again, physical abilities is important. You have to be able to hoist yourself up. If you go down, your partners they're going to have to be able to carry you out of the line of fire. Number 5, Shooting skills. If you're really interested in becoming a SWAT operator, your shooting skills have to be to par. And my suggestion to you is practice the FBI handgun qualification course. It's a 50-round course of fire, and score between a 90 and 100%. Don't worry about the rifle, just concentrate on pistol. The FBI qualification course pushes you all the way out to 25 yards. If you can be dead on or spot on in the scoring zone at 25 yards with a pistol, you're not going to have any problems, in my honest opinion, manipulating or shooting a rifle. You know, that's the hallmark of SWAT, is to be able to be proficient and be a master of your rifle. But it goes down, in my opinion, it goes down to pistol, right? Pistol is so much more harder to shoot than rifle. If you can master the pistol on the FBI qualification course, get a 90 to 100% score, you're going to be fine. Now, the good thing about the FBI qualification course is that it's a timed event. If you're over here telling me, hey, Sean, I can hit bullseyes all day long at 10 yards or 15 yards, that's great, but let's put some time on it. Now, after you pass this qualification course for FBI, the FBI qualification course, go online and look at the reputable vendors that are out there and see what kind of qualification standards that they have. And almost all of them are going to have a timed event. Buy yourself a timer. If you don't have any money, you can use a stopwatch, maybe even use your cell phone and put an app on it, or just have somebody count down, or just have somebody monitor the time. But it should be a time event, because time helps out with stress. Okay, I think it should be a stress shoot. Now, should you be running to point A to point B and then shooting from here and there? You can't get to that unless you master your fundamentals. And I think that the FBI qualification course is a decent guideline. It's a decent way of seeing where you are with your shooting abilities. So number 6, we're at number 6, guys. My recommendation is to attend as much on your off-duty time the tactical courses that are out there. There might be some shooting courses. There might be some entry courses where you're learning how to clear structures. Maybe there's like a CQB course. Maybe there's an active shooter course. And you're doing this so constantly on your off time. I think that your mentors, other people that are on SWAT, the word's going to get around that you keep showing up to these courses, because somehow these SWAT guys, these SWAT dudes, right, especially the leaders, they are connected with the instructors on a lot of these tactical level courses, and they talk all the time. You may not think that they talk, but they might say, hey, I saw John in the class. John works for your agency, right? Yeah, I've been seeing, he's been showing up to our classes like once every 4 months, once every 5 months, and he's a very humble guy or gal, and I think he make a good member of your SWAT team. Or just, that SWAT leader might ask about that person's performance, but when the word gets out that you're doing all this stuff on your off-duty time and you're not even getting paid for it, that's legit, guys. I think that will definitely help you get in on a SWAT team. Now, let's just say you have no money, right? You have no money. That's okay. That happens. So if that's the case, a lot of these SWAT teams will offer trainings to patrol, like training sessions at the patrol level. Attend these courses as much as possible, even if you don't get paid to do that. Now, I know that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, they'll go to like station to station, and they'll provide like MAGTAC training. This is your multi-assault terrorist action anti-terrorist capability course, basically your active shooter courses, right? And they do that often to different stations, right? And they want to see not who the best ones are, but maybe the best improved ones, the ones who are able to listen, and those ones who are able to throw their attitude out the door. That all helps. If there's somebody in your division that constantly trains, my recommendation is connect with them. Hey, is there any way that you can notify me when you have open enrollment whenever you're doing training to the patrol guys or to the non-SWAT guys? I'm super interested in learning. And again, the word's going to get out. Most of your trainers are connected with the administrators who are able to recruit new SWAT officers, right? They're able to put them through training. So that's all I got. There's 6 things that you should do. if you're interested in joining a SWAT team. And let me just summarize. The first one is ask yourself, if you're not hired yet, does this agency have a SWAT team? Is it full-time? Is it part-time? Or is it a regional? And once again, if you're coming now, not once again, but this is kind of new information. If you're coming in from, if you work like 2 agencies or 3 agencies in the region and you left on bad terms, and those agencies happen to be part of a regional SWAT team, you're gonna have trouble. You're gonna have problems getting in, because many times on that regional SWAT team, you have decision makers on each department that are going to be able to let you in or not. Number 2, as a reminder, you got to be a good decision maker on patrol or investigations. Number 3, be a good listener. Number 4, you should have those physical abilities, the physical abilities that it takes to be the most optimal SWAT operator possible, which means you have to lose the weight and be in good physical condition. And then 5, shooting skills. And then number 6 is attend classes on your off-duty time, preferably tactical level courses. That's all I got. If you guys have any questions, concerns, let me know. If you used to be on a SWAT team, or maybe you were in special forces in the military, I think we can take a lot of information from you guys. Just comment below. What is it? What does it take? What do you recommend that these people who want to be SWAT level operators, what should they do? Is some of my points, are they spot on? Are they not? I really like to know. And preferably with the large law enforcement agencies. When I say large, I'm talking about like 200 deputy, 200 officer departments, maybe 300 or 400. You typically want 1%. 1%, maybe even 0.5%. But I think 1% of your entire sworn personnel, I think would make decent SWAT operators. The smaller departments, there's obviously less to choose from, and I want to push towards 10%, but I do understand that there are there's smaller agencies of like 20 guys, 10 guys or gals, and in that case, I think 20% is a decent number. 20% of that personnel. All right, that's all I got. All right, guys, take care, and I'm looking forward to the dialogue. If you're interested in attending any type of, like maybe a advanced rifle class, an active shooter class, or any type of tactical performance class, and you're in Southern California or you're willing to travel, we do have military or law enforcement restricted only courses. Check out the description box for more details. And also, if you're in private security, a lot of you guys are in private security watching this. Occasionally we do open enrollment, and open enrollment involves you being able to have access in some of these courses. Whew. All right, guys, I know it's a mouthful. Take care.